Next time in the same place.
Fresh eggs and pinto beans. Wouldn't that have been good?
Selection, variety. Let's go Krogering.
Let's go Krogering, the better way to shop.
And by the Park Oak Grove, the rental retirement community.
So they can take a picture of it.
You all just hang on. We're finishing a conversation. Roach in your
it's
tea.
A real roach
That's
in the
amazing.
tea. That's the truth.
Oh, hey, how you doing
We're
out
so
there?
glad to see you. It's a wonderful day.
I just wanted to prove to people that you and I do, after 19 years, still speak to each other.
We do. It's amazing.
We still have conversations.
You know, life is good.
It is?
Really, it is. It's good. You know, it's been a great day. The sun was shining. The sky was blue like it used to be when I was a little child years and years ago. It was gorgeous today.
You can't see. How do you know?
I know. I can sense and feel.
Why?
And I can tell a cloud from a...
Why is Andre taking pictures of us? People are taking pictures
little red flash up there. It's really nice. I'm glad you...
Get that witch in here.
Yeah, bring her on in here. Woo! Honey, that was a rough takeoff. She must like belong to the pilots union.
Oh, you just cold cocked her there on the old blender.
Since I'm so blind, you can read it.
This means it's probably real bad. Dear Laban and Larry, I work hard for the money. Sounds like an old song, an old rock and roll song done by Donna Summer, I believe. I work two full-time jobs. I bag groceries and work in a tanning salon. I look good. My girlfriend says she wants me to cook her a meal. I really want to impress her. Can you give me some ideas, or should I just show her my tan line? I figure either way, she's going to get a surprise. Thanks for your help. Chase Bartol of Williamsburg, Virginia. Well, how about that?
All right. It sounds like a teenager to me.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, we can give you some nice, easy recipes that you can do maybe a whole meal with and surprise your girlfriend.
I got a great one today. I'm going to tell you, this is so neat. Whoever sent this in. Who sent this in? Doesn't say. All recipes sent in today by Nancy Mills of Winchester, Virginia, up near my hometown, you know.
And the burial place of Patsy Clyde. We've been to her grave.
We actually have a photo. I wish I'd have known that.
We'll bring that in.
Picture and showed it to you.
We
Look
do.
At this.
We have a shot of us kneeling.
Everybody knows how much I like my little Mickey stuff.
They're just wonderful. Well, I'm doing some kind of carrots. They're sassy carrots. Saucy
keep
carrots.
Up with me, Hammerstrom. I just walked right off of his camera. Did you see that?
No,
Where
I
was
he?
I've
seen TV. I don't want to watch it again. All right, this is saucy carrots with water chestnuts, and it's real good. And I've got a pound of carrots already peeled and sliced up into carrot-sized slices, and they have to cook for about 15 minutes until they're crisp tender. Any fool can peel a carrot, use a vegetable peeler, or you can use the back of the knife like this and scrape them, or if you're really lazy and want to save a lot of time, buy a pound of those little finger-sized carrots called carabits, and they're just wonderful.
Are those
work
those little round ones?
well. Yeah.
How do they grow them like that?
They're a special variety.
Oh, come on.
No, they are. I thought they were carved out of big ones.
Put them in a machine and roll them around.
No, they don't. They're actually those size.
Where's that picture of those carrots? I want to see if that's on
They
there.
peel them that way, but they're honestly little carrots.
You know, Mike Carroll has visitors today, and I think he's a little nervous.
I know.
Because he didn't make me test Doris's microphone.
Oh, I know. And they're all over there going like this because they can't hear.
So anyway, I'm going to do something called Mousse in a minute. And I actually have some on my hair. You've noticed today.
Among other things.
Among other things. And are you doing Italian meatloaf? Okay, Miss Doris is going to be here a little bit to charm us with with her famous Italian meatloaf.
Right.
I don't know why I'm so tickled today.
Well, now I have to spend some time chopping, so let me chop, and then you can go ahead and let me just show everybody what I'm doing. I'm going to chop some fresh parsley. This came from the grocery store. You can get it all year long, or if you're like Larry, you got it growing outside the house, and you can get it there. And this is fresh ginger, and you can use a quarter teaspoon of powdered ginger, the dry kind, or you can use a teaspoon of fresh ginger minced. And so I'm going to be mincing now for a few minutes.
You've been mincing for years.
Well, get over
mincing through this show, at least. Well, the first thing you got to do on this recipe is make up some nice good old coffee. You don't need an awful lot of it. You need it to be right strong. It is. None of that decaf stuff. You're going to heat that up. Oh, excuse me. Did I do that to Jim again?
Uh-huh.
I did to somebody. It's about 3 tablespoons, 2 or 3 tablespoons of that. And then go out and milk old Bossy. Get yourself some milk, and you need about 3/4 of a cup of milk. This is the neatest recipe. I don't know who thought of this one. Whoever thunk of this one, it was
Nancy.
a real good one. This is a real quick, wonderful, neat dessert. The only thing that worries me just a little slight bit about it is it does include 2 raw eggs cooked. So consequently, we're going to cut away from the show at the end of the program today so that you won't see us fall on the floor
When we die of
when we die
salmonella.
of salmonella. Well, the thank you. Hot Milk Mahatma over here has mentioned that that's one of the reasons that you scorch the milk, and you do. And also you heat up the coffee. And so I would suggest that you go pretty fast with this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm not even going to do this on top of the stove. I'm going to put it in the microwave.
Oh.
And heat it up. That's what I did yesterday.
Well,
I got back from a long trip over the holiday weekend, and I just wasn't in the mood for cooking cheap stuff. And so what I did was...
What are you doing? Get away from me.
Cook time. Go, baby. So I just do it in the microwave. You can scald milk in the microwave.
Sure.
It isn't going to hurt anything. And the secret ingredients today, don't look, boys and girls, is just a little bit of rum.
Oh, this must be
Not much.
alcohol day on Cookin' Cheap because I have to use wine.
Oh,
in
don't
mine.
mention it. Good heavens, we'll have people
course,
writing letters, having
Well, they
conniption
can write.
fits.
Well, they'll just have to have it. This stuff cooks out. You won't even taste it.
Well, this doesn't
And of
cook
course,
out.
thank goodness the rum is in it because that will kill the botulism.
You know
in the
what?
egg.
That's a good point. I'm glad you
Or the
brought that up.
salmonella.
See, rum has its uses. So
Yes,
anyway.
it does.
So I'm just waiting for my milk to heat up, and there's not much to see when that's going on.
Well, I'm just.
And now back to chop McGillicuddy.
Well, you know, now I'm demonstrating one way to mince, and that's with your knife like this, and you just keep going until you've got it real fine. You could grate it on a ginger grater if you have one, but this is just as good.
Got to go another minute.
It's not scalded yet. This is just a lot of, this is actually good exercise for you.
Well, you know that parsley smells mighty good.
Yes, it does. So does this ginger.
A little bit of that. You know, I'm one of the few people in the world that adores
Well,
parsley.
I know, and it clears your breath, too.
By the way, I have
Not that yours is necessarily all that bad.
I do have a bone to pick with
All
you.
right.
Do you remember a couple of years ago when you and I got into it on the air about the word endive, and you swore that everyone calls it endive? I'm going to tell you something. You and I are going to have a walk down the sidewalks of Roanoke one day. We're going to talk to 200 people, and you will not find one person that pronounces it endive.
Well, that's because there are a lot of ignorant people around. You heard it here, folks.
And he includes me in that, I'm sure. I'm certain. Even Harold's laughing at the ignorance thing. Well, this ought to be ready soon. I'm sorry to take so long, but you know this recipe doesn't take but like 40 seconds. Stretch. Here we go. Oh, that's hot and bubbly now. But it's not, yeah, I guess it's all right. Now, I'm also going to heat up a couple of tablespoons of dark coffee in there, black
Well,
coffee.
I'm going to melt 2 tablespoons of margarine
Oh.
in the frying pan over here so that I can use it in a little bit. And my carrots are doing just great.
Well, what is it you're making?
Carrots with water chestnuts.
Okay.
And I've got a can of water chestnuts, and be smart, buy the ones that are already sliced. They don't cost any different.
I feel the same way about olives.
Yeah, no use going to all that extra trouble to get whole ones and slice them. That's ridiculous when you can get them for the same price. But I got to drain them out.
It's a draining experience. Well, but
Certainly.
Doris come in a couple of minutes.
Well, why is it that it's taking so long to scald?
Well, I don't know. That's an old wimpy power thing we have down here at
Oh.
Blue Ridge Public Television occasionally. I don't know what that's all about. Sometimes it works real fast, and sometimes it just doesn't work real fast.
Oh.
Well, maybe it's only at 70% power.
Well,
maybe I haven't
that
set it
is-
properly. Where is the power level?
Yes.
Let's stop it.
Oh,
Cancel.
modern machinery is such a problem for him. Well, it should be full power when you put it in there.
Well, okay, well, let's see what the power level was. Well, that isn't working. Well, I don't know. What does that mean? PL10.
Now he's got it really messed up. Full power.
Full power.
All right.
Cook time is there.
All right, now there it's going. Hopefully the milk will be scalded and we can get on with it. My carrots, I think, are going to be finished here in just a few minutes.
First time
we had to kill time in the middle of the show.
Oh, no, it's boiling over.
No. Well, let it boil.
There you go. Well, this goes together pretty quickly once I get finished.
Well,
all
so
this
does mine.
Well, imagine if I had to do all this stuff on top of the stove.
Well,
how
that's
slow it
true.
would be. Well, I'm not sure it would be any slower than what I'm doing right now, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's really going.
33 seconds. Operators are standing by.
Oh, no, please don't do that. Somebody
Let's
might
not
send
do
something.
that.
Send us your recipes. We're always glad to have them. There's an address at the end of the show.
Now this stuff's gotten cold. I think I need to heat it back up
Oh,
again.
no. Boy, we'll be here.
I'm just joking. Oh, it's boiling.
Oh, no,
It's
yeah,
just
I should say it is
boiling like
scalded.
crazy. Well, I am going to zap this one more time, then I'm going to get on with it. I promise you. Well, I'm
And
sorry.
when he pours that hot liquor into it, it's liable to explode.
All right.
You take your
Just
life
do
in your
something,
hands. All right, well, what can I do? All right, my carrots, we'll pretend they're done. I suspect they are. And I got to drain them out.
Hey, only cooking show in the world where we actually took 20 minutes to do the carrots actually in real time on the air with nothing
Well,
else
wait a
to
minute,
do.
I can't do that.
Well,
That isn't going to work. I'll have to scoop them out.
all right.
And right into the frying pan with the 2 tablespoons of margarine.
Well, that's pretty.
Doris is mad at me because I took my own colander home, the strainer, and didn't bring it today.
She's real strict about
Well,
that.
she is, I know.
She's like a
And
librarian.
she has to be. I mean, yeah.
She had,
Talking about the grandfather clause. Right.
she had the police show up at my house one weekend to get some pots and pans I'd taken home.
The first stove I ever cooked on in this studio is still here back in the back.
Is that so,
That was
really?
30 years ago.
And it probably still works.
It probably does. Well, this is about a pound of carrots.
Were you doing a cooking show?
I was doing a children's show
Oh.
with a mouse puppet, but we cooked.
with a mouse puppet. Now it helps if you wobble this around a little bit. Camera people are having a time today. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm sick of this. I've got to do something. You get yourself some semi-sweet chocolate chips, and it calls for 6 ounces, so it's a half a bag of this, being that this is a 12-ounce bag if you use half of it. And dump it in there. My math skills. My math skills are incredible. And then 2 eggs, 2 cackleberries. Put those in there. This doesn't look good, chocolate and cackleberries, but I'm telling you, give me a time to get it done here. It's better than you think it's going to be. That goes in there. And put that scalding milk on top of those eggs. And that coffee on top of that. And be very careful when you measure out the rum. And that's it. That's the whole recipe. Bye.
You're kidding.
And you whip it.
I can't believe the blender worked.
It does. It's amazing. The blender actually is working. And you want to do that a little bit because you want to get all those little chocolate chip things all busted up in there. Have you ever seen such a simple dessert in your life? And what happens is you cool it for a couple of hours. And as you can see, I have actually tried to put my spoon down there. It's beautiful. And it smells pretty good too. It really
Well,
does.
that's wonderful.
Now I'll show you some other fine things to do with it here in just a minute.
All right, well, while you're doing that, I'm going to add some things in, then we'll bring Doris in, we'll add her in. I'm
we
going
have
to
to?
use a tablespoon of freshly chopped parsley in with these carrots, and I'm going to use a teaspoon of minced fresh ginger and a little dash, about a little less than a teaspoon of thyme. And if I had fresh thyme, I'd use it, but I couldn't find any.
You say you're fresh out of thyme?
Yep. So that's the dried thyme. And you mix all of those together, and then with 3 tablespoons of a white wine.
Could you get me a knife, darling?
And, oh, that's 3. And of course, you kids will have to go to Mom and Dad's supply for this. But the alcohol does cook out of it. So, and this is the carrots, and so Doris can come in and...
Come on in here, Doris, honey. Let me see if I can find your microphone. I forgot to get her mic out.
I had to do an Italian meatloaf, and I don't know if you can see it.
Now be careful, don't move around too much. I'm liable to run this microphone up your nasal passages.
Okay, in a large bowl, I had to put a half a cup of cracker crumbs, 6 ounces of tomato paste, half a cup of finely chopped onion, 3/4 teaspoon salt, 1½ pounds ground beef, 2 eggs, a 1/4 cup finely chopped green pepper, and a dash of black pepper. Well, you mix that all up, and then you take a filling of a half a cup of cracker crumbs.
What is this, a cake?
No, it looks like it, doesn't it? It's a meatloaf.
Oh, okay.
It takes a half a cup of cracker crumbs, 3 ounces chopped mushrooms, 12-ounce cream-style cottage cheese, and 1 tablespoon oregano. Well,
cottage cheese
yeah,
in meatloaf?
and I couldn't find cream style, so I put it in the my little food processor and made it like cream cheese. And I would rather put ricotta cheese in if you're using, as an Italian meatloaf.
Have you tried this before?
No,
so we don't know whether we can actually taste that cheese baked in
I
there.
I think it'll taste more like an Italian cheese. I don't think you're going to taste it as cottage cheese because if I can get it out.
Open that baby up.
Really.
Let's see if we can
nice
see
and
that
warm,
cheese in
but,
there.
let me see. No, you can just.
Oh, you can. There's a whole layer.
Yeah, who's got it down there?
Oh, that looks great.
So it shows up, and like I said, if you don't like cottage cheese, I think you could put ricotta cheese in it. But with the oregano in it, I don't think it's going to taste like cottage cheese. But it looks pretty good. And it took an hour to bake at 350. Okay.
Oh, it's real pretty.
It's gorgeous.
That's turned out pretty
It's
neat.
gorgeous, and so are you.
I'll tell you a story about that later.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Now, you take the mousse, and you put it in a little bowl, and then presentation is everything, as you know. Take just a little bit of this whipped topping and put on top of it, like so. And I decided that today I would get real fancy, so I'm going to take a little, just an ordinary, common old candy bar, and you can use any kind of chocolate that you want. And let's just do a little thing of chocolate on, put somebody's eye out with this. See, just a little bit of that on top. Isn't that pretty? People think you've gone the extra
that's
mile.
Real pretty. We need to give our recipes.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Let me do mine. Saucy carrots with water chestnuts, a pound of carrots. Carrots, peeled and bias cut, a 1/2 inch thick. A can of water chestnuts, that's an 8-ounce can. 3 tablespoons of dry white wine, 2 tablespoons of butter or margarine, 3/4 teaspoon dried thyme crushed, 1/4 teaspoon ground ginger or a teaspoon of freshly minced ginger, and a tablespoon of snipped parsley.
Now, isn't that pretty? That's just, I wish I had a camera. Give me yours. So anyway, the mousse in a minute. Now, you don't have to admit, that is just a neat little recipe.
It is.
I mean, if you only have a little bit of time and the people are showing up, all them people are coming in, and you need a quick recipe for summer especially. Isn't that beautiful? 6 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate bits, 2 tablespoons of rum, 3/4 cup of scalding milk, 3 tablespoons of hot strong coffee, and 2 eggs. And you blend it all up in a blender on high speed, and you pour it into serving bowls and chill for several hours, and you can garnish it with whipped cream or some kind of whipped topping. And then you take the leftover candy bar and you eat that. Which is what I'm going to do in a couple of minutes. Where are we?
I'm over here in the dining room. Oh, no, you're kidding.
No.
Well,
Doris, come back in here.
yes.
Come back in here. Doris.
I think you need... let's see, I'm going to sit down and watch this.
Doris and I are going to sing.
Right.
We have 5 minutes. We're going to sing The Impossible Dream.
Right.
To dream the, well, no, maybe we're not.
Well, it's, you know, it's Valentine's Day weekend and President's Day when we're taping this, so I would suggest that you two should sing the national anthem.
Right. I don't even remember the words.
No, I tell you what, let's do. Let's play a game. I'll be George and you be Martha.
Oh.
How stupid can we get? Anyway.
I don't know, probably really stupid.
Well, you're
if we
sitting
try.
in my chair.
I know. Call me Goldilocks.
Someone is definitely sitting in my chair.
All right, let me pull my Mickey
Well,
Mouse
don't
tail
run into
with
the
me.
wall like you did last week. You almost put the whole
Now,
west end out.
It was several weeks ago, and I certainly did almost do that, but I'm not doing it right now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is near the end of the show, but we seem to have a lot of time left, so watch how carefully we chew our food.
Well, that's nice. Let me get you some of this home-style, fresh from Smith Mountain Lake.
We need
Meatloaf.
my young cousin, Miss Sarah Carden, up here to do return thanks for us, which she is famous for
and
doing.
we do, of course, have time for a rather long prayer. Although I don't think we have one. Quite honestly, be quite honest with you. Well, don't we have any biscuits or anything we could eat here with this meal?
You know, I don't think there's a thing on here that is on my approved diet. But that's all right. I'm going to eat it anyway.
Well, I'm going to try this. Look at this, all this cheese. Well, you know it's got to be good. Is there any? Is there any ketchup in this?
I had tomato paste.
Tomato paste.
I want to try these carrots.
I got to tell you, Miss Doris has a winner on her hands with this.
Ladies and gentlemen, these carrots are outstanding. Even the people that don't like them would like them.
Well, you know, I'm not real fond of carrots except raw ones. I'm not real fond of cooked ones. But yes, they are good.
They are really excellent. Well, that's...
They really are. And they're much better than those ones that I served you at my house that time that I did in my blender, which gave up its... What was that? There's some kind of a seal underneath.
Seal,
it pulled the seal
thing.
right up. The carrots were so
Shoot
hard
it up.
that when I hit mix or whatever cut, it literally pulled the seal up from underneath and put it in throughout all of my carrots. Remember those carrot puffs?
They were delicious.
And I didn't know a thing about it until Johnson went home, and I was cleaning up the dishes, and I found all these little rubber band-looking things all over his plate.
Well,
Well, you haven't tried my mousse.
now I know I want to right now. Is this the Bullwinkle recipe? All right.
Bullwinkle version of the
Now,
mousse.
you know this is not going to be good for me, but I'm going to have some anyway.
Well, you tell me that that isn't a good 1-minute recipe.
Oh, that is really good.
Isn't that wonderful?
That is wonderful.
I'm telling you, if it takes me 2 more minutes, I'm going to explain to you about this 1-minute recipe.
Well, Nancy, you have sent in 3 wonderful recipes.
Nancy, that's it. You're hired, baby.
I mean, any fool could do these, but I agree with Doris. You know, maybe she used cottage cheese because where she is, she can't get ricotta. But most places with large grocery stores now carry ricotta, and you can even get it fat-free.
You know, I'm from farm country up in Shenandoah County, and I was raised around a lot of good old cooks. And every one of them make lasagna with cottage cheese, not with, I don't think they know what ricotta cheese is.
Oh, yeah, well, you know,
Don't believe
we
so.
always use cottage cheese. And let me tell you, if you were like I am, have terrible heart trouble and diabetes, you could still have these carrots leaving the wine out or just using a little bit. And even the meatloaf you could do with turkey and with no-fat cottage cheese or ricotta cheese, and it would all work out just fine in modest proportions. The mousse, however, is hopeless. I don't think we could actually have that any way you went with it. But we could try sometime.
What do you mean we couldn't have it any way you went with it?
I don't think, you know, that all of those things would fit for a
No, I don't think so.
heart-free diet. I don't know. Maybe it could. If it could,
You just shouldn't be
I'm sure
eating
you'll
it.
let us know about it. Oh, no,
You
don't.
just shouldn't be eating it. Just stay away from
Even
it,
if it
Johnson.
is good.
Behave yourself.
Lip smack.
Well, fortunately, I have some slides from a recent vacation.
No,
Which we're
please,
now
not
going to
those
show
again.
because we've run out of virtually everything to do and say
Including
that we have.
pride. So thank you very much. Please look for us
No,
next time.
Jim's saying stretch. He's saying stretch.
Oh, no. What is
He's a
this?
stretchy kind
Either
of guy.
that or he's talking about two spiders getting together. Oh,
Oh, thank heavens. 7
Finally.
seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2,
this is really
1.
good.